Hope that looked cool.
It was cool, man. It was awesome.
We have no idea.
I liked it.
He liked it. Well, we're here, man. We're here
here.
joined by two hammers in their own right, not just in the guide world, but in the tournament world as well. So this could be a good show. I think a bunch of people are gonna be interested in kind of what we titled this video as the gold rush of the guiding on a couple of, well, really one particular lake, but probably a couple in the mix as well. We'll probably get into all of it. We're all kind of the same, and we all kind of do a little guiding in fish tournaments as well. So it'll be a pretty cool show. So,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, boys, I appreciate you guys coming on. We've been talking about it a little while. I know, Brett, you and I have talked about it a couple of times. I know Wyatt and Kyle have been talking, and seems like this was a good time to do something like this. Another little topic that doesn't really get talked about, especially with I don't know how many. I'd love to know the data on new guide licenses sold in the state of Texas, if they're even buying licenses.
no,
Yeah.
they're probably not. They're probably not buying guide licenses.
Some of these, I guarantee you, some of these rednecks out here do not have a guide license.
They're like, "What? You got to have a license?"
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah, it's gone up.
Which, I mean, in my opinion, I don't know what you guys think, but in Texas, I think it's kind of a joke that you can just go buy one over the counter. Like, bam, I'd like to be a guide. Can I buy what is it, like $146 or something?
I don't even remember. I buy it every year, and I don't even remember. But to me, it was weird because when I haven't been guiding in Texas very long, but I've been fishing tournaments and fishing a long time, and I felt weird getting a license. Like, can I even do this? Right? I was like, man, and some of these guys that just don't even have the experience just jump right in. I don't know. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's something to be said about that, because the reality is, if you want to be a guide in the state of Texas, you literally go buy a guide license and you're ready to go. Me and Shane have kind of talked about this before. Like, we almost wish there was more requirements, just because it would weed some of the guys out that aren't as serious. Like the guys up north, they at least have to have a captain's license, I believe. Like for the St. Lawrence and stuff like that.
I think that's just because international waters.
Right.
Or navigable, like navigable waters or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think that would weed out a lot. Just if you had to have a captain's license in Texas, that would weed out a lot of guys for sure.
Yeah, most of them.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know, you guys seeing that too on Rayburn? I know that we're seeing that on Ivie, a lot of guides popping up. Are you guys seeing that on Rayburn too?
What? Dude,
It's
yeah, go ahead.
It's kind of a touchy subject around the Sam Rayburn area. The pop-up guides, as we like to say, and I think a lot of it has to do with the electronics, as well as, like, so many guys are claiming to be
Careful with your words.
masters with their electronics. And it sucks. Like, I made a post not too long ago on a couple of the Sam Rayburn page, just like I just almost feel bad for the consumer, because, like, sometimes they might could go out with somebody that maybe doesn't have that experience, or maybe just doesn't. Maybe they do, and they just haven't been guiding long enough to, like, be very good in, like, the way they teach, or the way they try to help someone. And I think the consumer almost maybe can get more confused on some of that stuff. So, but yes, Rayburn is overran right now, and it wasn't that way, just not that long ago, just a few years ago. But now it's there's a lot of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a difference between, like, a guy that just comes out, scopes, catches 3 and 4 pounders on scope just because they know how to use scope and claim they're scopers, and compared to, like, someone like Kyle Hall, who's probably the best big fish scoper on the planet. He puts his clients on him. So it's hard to, like, I know you guys are two of the best on Rayburn. When you see these clients that have like, you see these new guys that have clients, you're like, there's times for me, I'm like, some of these new pop-up guys will have them, and I'm like, I'm not even booked that day, and this guy's booked. Like, what the heck's going on? It's weird. I don't know.
No, you're right. That happens. You're totally right. So, I don't know. I guess a good place to start with the whole, the OH thing, as I guess just kind of going back to the beginning and just kind of how this boom kind of started.
Yeah, when it kind of popped off. What year
Yeah,
was
because
that?
I don't really know when this all transpired. I've been
The
down there. It was a
freeze.
while ago, but
The
I don't know
Arctic
how it all
blast.
happened. So
Yeah. Kyle, you want to take that one?
Yeah. I mean, I think it started in 2021. Is that correct?
Think
Brett
so.
was there the same year I was, and then I think we started guiding the same year too, the year after that.
Yep.
And it was founded in 2021. As far as the vast majority of the people that are there now guiding, they probably come the first year in 2021, most of them. So there's been a bunch since, but I like I said, mine and Brett's first year were in 2021.
So when it was like popping off after that freeze, and you guys made some trips down there, we all went down there right that year to at least go try to catch some giant fish, whatever. When did you guys like decide I'm gonna stay down here and be a trophy bass guide because there's a market here?
Mine was the following year in 2022. Josh actually asked me to help him run some trips, and I don't know how Brett got started, but that's when I decided it was 2022, halfway through the year.
Yeah. I was working at the time. I was working for 6 Cents. I was their marketing guy. And, this things just didn't work out with them. And I started helping Josh as well. Josh and Kyle, Josh helped me learn scope, and I've fished with Kyle before. Those are two legends in the scope world. So I'm this old guy trying to get into it. I had it back in the day. I had the first Panoptics, but I didn't know what I was doing. I knew, but I didn't know. And then jumping in the boat with Kyle and Josh, it just like I just got it, and now it's just something that I do, but I hate doing it, and I don't like doing it in tournaments, but I still got to do it.
I feel you. Sometimes it does get old. But so were you in 2022 as well, Brett? Is that when you kind of like made the transition?
Yes, sir. I think it was like the first part of 2022 is when I stopped working with Six, and then I started just doing content stuff. I was working in their office, and then I just started working with them doing some content stuff, and then it just fit right where I was just catching bigs with clients and getting content and stuff like that. And then I was like, man, we're doing pretty good out here. And then all the clients started coming. I couldn't be there as much as I'd like because I lived in Houston at the time. So I could only work like 10, 15 days a month. So then it just trying to give clients, we're all like snowballing off each other, Kyle and Josh and everybody. Josh gets more clients than anyone, but he would help me out. And then it just snowballed to where I didn't need any help anymore, and got a website. And the key for me was my domain name. I jumped on and got the ohivyfishing.com. And so whenever anyone was to type in OHIV fishing, I was the guy that popped up. So it was just a home run. Like me being a marketing guy, I'm like, how can I differentiate myself? And I just jumped in and grabbed that domain name, and that's what's carrying me right now.
That's pretty smart. So 2022, just kind of going back, it's not that long ago, but there's so much that's happened that it seems like it was a while ago. So in 2022, what was the demand like? As far as like what kind of, how many clients were you getting? What do the trips look like, and what kind of prices were those clients looking at to come on a trip at that time in 2022?
2022 was, I mean, as much as I post, I got clients, but I was still doing content for big companies, so I couldn't be here as much. But it was 10. I could easily get 10 to 15 guys a month, every month. And at that day, or at that time, I was about 750 a day.
Okay. What
I
about
don't
you,
know
Kyle?
what Kyle. I think Kyle was a little more than I was.
Sure. I was doing like 1,000, but I wasn't trying to book quite as many as that because I still wasn't sure. And I'm good. Like I'm better, I would say, like just going by the seat of my pants and figuring out something on my own. Like, it's like if a cast is bad, like I can deal with it and I know it's bad. But like me trying to tell a random dude that just got in my boat like that was a bad cast, you need to make another one. It took me some confidence in telling them that. So I started out at 1,000, and I was booking, 2 or 3, 4 trips a week, but nothing more than that, just because I still wasn't sure.
Yeah. Got you. And what were these trips? These trips were like full days, right? Like not just like your 7 or 8 hour days. You were going daylight to dark. Is that how you did those trips, or am I mistaken?
Yeah, most of those, yeah. Those
Gotcha.
from daylight to dark. We usually come in for lunch, but on lunch, some guys would be like, "No, I want to stay out here for lunch," and I'm like,
Well, that's an extra 1,000, sir.
Yeah. So the other thing is like normally I lived in a camper or in these rooms, so there was nothing to do here. If you've been here, there is
Yeah.
absolutely nothing to do. I'm gonna go back to a camper that's just so boring, and I'm
Yeah.
like, no, let's just go fish because I was either gonna go back and fish by myself, and I was like, no, I'll just rather go back out with my client, and that's what they saw us put in that extra work, and so that's why we stay so busy.
Yeah. So what did the scenery look like then versus now? Is it any of that changed over there? Did anybody like, hey man, there's people come to Ivie, I need to build a storage unit or some more cabins or a restaurant, something over there?
Some small stuff, but nothing major. Like one guy built some RV spots, and one guy has a couple little tiny homes. But other than that, not much has changed.
Gotcha. So the one gas station is still the only place to eat there, or what?
Yeah, you got Elm Creek RV and
Oh, okay,
campgrounds.
you
They
got two.
closed, and then you got Concho. But Elm Creek's just such a good spot that everybody kind of just goes there. They're like family to us.
Yeah.
Got you.
So what was what was the promise? Not gonna say as guys, obviously we don't make promises, but what were you telling your customers when you're trying to like get them to book? Like, we're going after one bite. I know every customer is different. You probably do that, but what was the kind of the sales pitch to get this thing started?
I would say, what I would tell them is, you're out here to learn forward-facing sonar, and if you can watch me catch a couple, then maybe we can try to get you on one. But the whole purpose of me being out here is trying to teach you forward-facing sonar, and I wanted to get them to learn, and I still do, because there's days that I get clients in the boat, and it's gonna be a long day. Y'all probably I still go after the one bite just because if you get the first bite, then you got a chance at getting a second one. But we got to start with the first one.
Got you.
Yeah. What about you, Brett? You just tell them we're going to catch 7 over 10?
No. I explained to him that it's fishing. I don't think I have the patience to scope as good as Kyle and them. So I would always just go fishing. I always wanted to go fish. Kev, that just I wanted them the whole experience, whether it's a fishing trip plus a live scope trip. If you want to learn live scope, some of my guys would be like, I don't even care if I catch a bass today. I only want to see big ones. That's a different story. But some of them were like, let's just go fish. And I want to learn from you. I want to learn how you dissect the lake, whatever. So mine was just a little different because I like my clients to catch them. I still like catching 2-pounders. I know Kyle likes catching 10-pounders only, but I love still catching 2-pounders. So I try to just get fish in the boat, and then I would tell them, hey, okay, let's go giant hunting.
Kyle's more of a purist, is what we call in the duck hunting world. When like guys only chase mallards, they're purists. That's Kyle.
I didn't get the mallard.
I feel you, man. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, that would be a lot, man. Like I know for us guiding around here, like it's totally different because you're not like, like a place like Fork or really OHIV is probably even different than that. Like when you're on a trophy lake like that, like I don't want to say it's expected, but I just feel like that would be a lot more pressure. Like around here when we guide, if you just can get some bites and kind of teach some guys some things in the process, like it's cool, like If they don't catch even a 5 or 6 pounder, like if they caught 30 or 40 all day and they were staying busy, usually that's pretty good trip here. But and I feel pressure sometimes, like as a guide when the trip's maybe not going as I'd like it to. So I can't imagine some of the pressure from like a trip like that. That would be definitely different.
It's I from my experience, and Kyle's got more pressure than I do, just because of his price point now. But for me, like now, it's crazy because I had guys for like 5 or 6 days. We had 35 pounds, but we didn't have a 10 pounder, and they were upset. I had
That's
guys.
crazy.
I had guys today. We had 25 pounds in the first probably 3 hours, and you can tell they're like, "Hey, when are we gonna catch big ones?" And you know that they've never caught like that's probably the top 10 biggest bass they ever caught.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they just expect, "Hey, I need a 10. Like, where's our 10 pounder?" I'm like, dude, like I do hundreds of trips. Like we may catch like on a good year for me. Kyle catches a little more than I do, double digits, but um on a good year for me, I'm probably do 100 and something trips. We catch 30 double digits, and that's 30%. And I try to tell these guys, like, there's times I'm 150 trips and maybe catch 30 on a good year. You know what I mean? And like, I'm like, dude, it's still 30%, which is the best in any lake in the country, but it's still 30%. Like, dude, stop.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard.
Yeah, that's really. I mean, I think that's pretty dang solid. That's crazy
Yeah,
that
that's really good numbers, dude.
Yeah.
guys would be disappointed in that. I mean, you just can't make some people happy, honestly.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and you kind of know that going in as a guide, like, that it can be tough. So, how many trips have you taken that you zeroed on the trip from daylight to dark? Has it ever happened to either one of y'all?
It's happened to me once.
It's
Yeah.
happened a couple times.
Yeah, I figured Kyle would be.
Yeah, but
a
Kyle's
little.
passing up. Kyle's like, no, that's an 8-pounder. We're not throwing at that one.
Yeah. And that was the time that I did too. They were like, all I want to catch is 10s. I'm like, hey, there's a 2 pounder. You want to catch it? Nope, don't even throw it. And I'm like trying to throw my bait over there so the boat doesn't zero like off the corner.
Yeah,
and
we need a little
yeah.
little slime
Yeah.
up in here.
Yeah.
We have this
But
one guy, me and Josh. I don't know if he's ever been with Brett, but if it ain't 13 pounds, he don't want to cast at it. So any day he comes, there's a good chance that
yeah. Oh yeah, I've been with them.
Bro,
Yeah, I've taken them.
Sleep waiting on you to find the.
He'll give you the rod if it jumps out front and it's 8 pounds. He'll give you the rod and you reel it in. I don't even want to waste my time.
What?
are you serious?
Yeah,
How many 13s has he caught?
couple.
Caught two. He caught 2 this year.
There you go.
Oh my
There
gosh.
you go. There you go, man.
Is that Larry dude?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he shot some.
Yeah, I
hammers.
saw him. I've
He
seen him.
catches big ones. He just loves fishing and he just wants to catch big ones. But that's
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Nothing wrong with that,
honestly.
man. You guys are delivering on that. Honestly, like think about this. I'm a little envious of you guys because guiding on a lake like that with a trophy, like there's some pressure, you guys, and we'll get to the price point change. But I mean, you guys are guiding on a lake that you don't necessarily worry about tournament fishing on. So it's, we do that over here at Rayburn. It's like, well, how many customers tell us this all the time? Why it's like, well, I know you're not going to take us to your best stuff. I'm like, well, hell no.
No.
It's like, how
no
do you
chance.
show these guys how to find that stuff without like giving it away?
Yeah, that's my buddy Jack York. He guides on Fork. I'm sure y'all know him, but man, like we talk about that all the time, and he's like, man, that's why I kind of like guiding on Fork because I can go hit juice and it be okay, Of course, you always got that deal where clients come back in their own boat or they come with a buddy, they take them to the juice. But that it is different. I think that's where we differ a lot at the Rayburn scene, because you got to be really careful. And I cannot tell you how many trips I've turned down on that lake because of that. Like, well, this dude said he wants to go on a trip just to learn the lake better, but come to find out he's so so yeah, he's got a tournament, or he's so and so's family member, and that dude we fish against every weekend. So like, yeah, it's tricky. But kind of going from 2022 and growing there, would you say that like there wasn't very many guides on Ivie at the time? Was it pretty much just like y'all and maybe a few others, or what was that like when it started to grow? What did the pressure on that lake? How pressure did it get as it started to grow?
What would you say, Kyle?
I would say there was probably 10 or 15 guides, 10 guides maybe the first year that I was doing it. What'd you say?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'd say
Probably 10
max
or 15.
15. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got some OG original guys that were there before the whole thing blew off that they're probably pretty bummed out about, obviously. But yeah, it was a few of us, scope guys, and some guys started trickling in from Fork and some other lakes, and some younger guys started coming in. They just saw it, and which, can you blame them? No, but yeah, it got pretty busy though after that.
Yeah, and it like when I look at it, because I've seen pictures of that ramp like totally packed out and stuff. And when I look at it, like it seems like because in the beginning when all these giants were being dropped on the scales and everybody was like, oh my god, the big question was, can Ivie sustain? Like, how long is it going to keep kicking out giants? And I'll be damned if that dang thing is still. I mean, it's still producing, and it seems like just freaks. Not all the time, but it's still pretty consistent. So, can you tell? Kyle, I know you basically do probably the live scope deal exclusively out there, but can you tell? If the pressure's gotten to those fish, like are they educated, or what does that look like?
It has gotten to them, most definitely.
Yeah.
But I think the scenario for me has not changed because I'm still going all day, casting at every big one I see, looking for one to bite, and that's what I did before. Used to though, you would get a handful to bite, maybe 5 or 10. Now you get 1 or 2 to bite. You're still catching big ones, but you're not catching as many. So yes, the pressure has gotten to it. I think. And how many guys did you say last year?
Oh,
Right.
I don't know.
They probably got to 20, 25 last year, and this year it's like I don't even know how many.
Yeah.
God,
The guys that people I don't even know. That's a new guy.
It's a
And the
lot.
lake's tiny.
yeah.
I think it's 8,000 acres right now. Is what I read.
Oh my, 8,000 fish. That's crazy.
Yeah,
and it's
like 18 or 20 or something like that.
Dude, when I first got there in 2021, every fish that you saw with an A rig would eat. It was wild. I mean, and now that I know the lake so well and like know where they winter and like know where these giant schools of giants live, like you could have caught every day you went out, you could have caught 60 pounds. Like I wish I knew then the old saying, but yeah, nowadays like we caught a 10-20 today, and I probably saw 30 double digits, that wouldn't eat.
My God.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. It's like nothing. It's a different animal. I mean, you see wolf packs of 20 double digits all together. It's crazy. And it's I hope it lasts forever, but I don't think it will. But I hope it does.
So when did you guys decide to make some price adjustments? I know Josh has always kind of been on the higher end. Maybe he kind of set the bar and allowed you guys to kind of slide up in there underneath him. But when did you guys like say, "Hey, look, we're not charging enough. We need to charge more"?
Yeah, Kyle, I kind of followed their lead, honestly.
In 2022, when I started at 1,000, and then like halfway through, I went to 1,500 for the rest of that year. And then 2023, I went to 2,000. And that's what I'm currently still at.
Do you ever have anybody that's like when they call you and you tell them that they're like, just hang up?
No, I haven't had any guys just hang up, but they message me on Facebook and they'll be like, "How much?" And I'll be like, 2,000, and I don't get a response. But thank you to the guys
that's when they text me.
Out of my price range.
Yeah. You know, he's just in there with a buddy or something like, man, you come read this. Come read this shit. Look at this. Like, can you believe he said $2,000 for a day?
Yeah.
Man, that's
yeah.
that's pretty.
See,
that's pretty cool though.
I can't. I've had people tell me I need to go up on mine, and I have clients that are like, I would pay whatever, but I'm gone up, which I think is a lot. I'm 1,000 a day, and my clients that are good, they tip well, so I'm happy because I can go to bed at night if it's not a great day, knowing I couldn't go to sleep. Like if Kyle always catches them when it's the type of year like Kyle puts his clients on big ones all the time. I don't have the patience to scope all day. I don't. I tell my clients we're gonna do different things. Like if you want that and you only want a big one, you need to go with Josh and Kyle. But
Yeah.
for me, like I just can't, dude. It's so hard. Like when you get clients to scope, and I more props to them and how they do it. I don't know because my clients, it's really really hard for them to make the cast and to have the patience to do it. They want to do something else, so maybe that's why like his clients know that, and that's why they pay. It's like to me, how I always say it is Kyle and Josh's clients are like high fence deer hunters, right? They pay the big money because they know like, hey, I'm gonna get this is their trophy hunters. That's just what they are, right? And they know that my clients are like, I still want to catch fish, but I also want a big one. I'm gonna get mad if we don't catch a big one, but I'm gonna be okay with it. I'm not sure how they feel, so I'm like in that middle. I'm in that middle ground, but I feel like I have a lot of clients, and you know we're doing really good right now, so I can't complain.
That's awesome.
That's kind of a cool way to kind of look at that for sure.
Yeah,
Kyle, do you ever have any guys like getting like oh yeah, man, like we're like he just said, like we're trophy hunters and we're about going for one fish all day, and then they get out there about 7 hours in, and they're like, oh shit, what did I get myself into? You ever had any guys start crawfishing on you, or they stay head down all day?
No, most of mine have stayed head down all day.
Yeah, I got you.
I've had one or two say like, "Can we just go catch a fish now?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, what about the 500 5-pounders that we've already passed?"
Yeah. Why don't you tell me that earlier, dude?
That's the next one, and then we go about 30 minutes and we catch one and go on. But
there you go.
And I would say 90% of Kyle's guys own a business. You know what I mean? Like $2,000 to them is not anything.
Yeah.
Right.
No, for sure.
And those are the clients he's meeting that are like, I mean, those are the dream clients that we all wish we could get. So some people, like I had talked to Josh before, and he's like, dude, just go up on your prices, and then you're gonna have those clients that'll never get upset about money or price or fish or whatever. But then I'm like, well, now I'm scared that I'm not going to get as many as I need because I'm not putting my clients on as big as fish as Josh and Kyle consistently like they do in that time frame. So it's like, I don't know. I'm going to stay where I'm at and just stay there and see what happens.
Hey man, inflation's real, dude. You need to go up on your prices. I'm all for it.
Yeah,
we support you.
Especially now, people are from Louisiana.
Yeah. I got to drive 11 hours to work.
Wow,
it's pretty cool.
Jeez, that's ridiculous. Speaking of Louisiana, you guys ever have anybody like catch a DD and be like, "Hey man, can we keep that? I'd really like to knock the side of that."
No, I've never had anyone say that.
I was hoping not, but you never know, man. Somebody might be like, "I wonder what a 13-pound fillet tastes like." I'd be like,
"Yeah,
I lost it."
Are y'all back?
No, I got you back. We can hear you.
Can you hear us? Hello.
You got that Ivie service going on.
Tell David to get some better Wi-Fi.
You there, bud?
He's just like, oh shit.
He just staring in the abyss.
I think I lost
We can-
service or something.
Oh, we got you now.
I'm out.
He said
Can you
I'm
hear
out.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can't hear you guys, so I don't know what happened.
Oh, well, that's gonna be tough to have a conversation like that.
Uh-oh.
He needs to go
Right.
get off and get back on.
Try logging off and logging back on, which he
He
can't
can't
hear
hear
us.
you.
So, yeah, I don't know what I'm
I'm
talking to
gonna
him.
I'm gonna try to end it and come back in.
All right.
Yep, he got it.
Kyle,
Nice.
you take deposits so that like somebody doesn't stand you up?
I did not last year, but this year I started. Yes, I do. I require a $500 deposit, and if they let me know with a reasonable time, like I'll send it back. I just sent back 2 this year. The guys out of state, they just couldn't make it in. But other than those 2, I haven't had anyone not show up with giving a deposit. So
Got you.
Got you.
Do you? And you don't
I'm
have to
back.
answer this, but do you get tips at that price point?
yes.
Nice.
Let me borrow some money, bro.
No kidding. Kyle over here. Kyle's a freaking.
I'm already looking at the rest of the year, and I'm like, I need more guide trips.
Yeah.
These tournaments, they're going decent this year compared to the rest, but they ain't as going as good as $2,000 a day would.
Yeah.
That guaranteed money. I was about to say, Kyle over here is a Toyota Series championship winner. So
Oh yeah.
big payday right there. Big
Yeah.
payday.
Yeah, he was like 20 years old and made like $500,000. Unbelievable. He's like,
Now I have nothing to show for it besides a small house that got me.
yeah, to me, I'm on the other end of it. I'm having the worst season of my life, and yeah, if I don't get some more sponsorship dollars soon, I might have to back out the rest of these opens this year.
Come
dude.
on, man. You're not quitting yet.
Hey, me and
Ugh.
Shane have talked about it on this show a lot, and I know you had a good season last year in the opens, and Shane did as well.
Mhm.
The opens is a very different field in tournament than really anything that exists. Like the elites, even the BPT, like it's a freaking mosh pit, and unfortunately, you can only afford a few slip ups for that qualification spot. But that's just the way it is, Like, and you know that, like, the Opens is a wild place, dude. It's literally the Wild West. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it's different. It's a different animal for sure.
Yeah, Shane. I remember Shane. He saw me at Ozarks last year, and I'm throwing my rods on the ground because I know what I just did on the day 2. And he's like, "Dude, just hang in there." I'm like, "Oh gosh!" And now here we are, 4 in, no checks. 3 out of the 4, I broke down. My boat's broke down. It's just bad luck. Not thinking I'm gonna win, finding fish that I thought I was gonna win a couple derbs, and it's just not playing out like last year. It's like complete 180 from last year.
Mm.
Like
Yeah,
wild.
dude. Momentum's wild, dude. It can go with you or it can go against you, and sometimes it feels a little hard to get out of that rut. But dude, you'll be fine. Dude. You catch them.
Unless your name is Dakota.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, he just hasn't got off that momentum train going forward. That dude just blasted off into the stratosphere.
I don't think he's ever going to.
I don't
He
think
just
so
keeps
either.
on.
Dude. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, he's different. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's the perks of fishing so much, right? When he's on every body of water and fishing, it's just, I couldn't imagine just keeping that momentum going. He never has a moment to let it slip, and it's just that's what it takes. And those guys that are so dedicated like him, it's just that's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
he works his tail off.
nuts. Yeah, he actually came on the. He's been on our show a couple times actually, but we kind of talked to him about that. That switch or that different gear, and it was really cool to just hear his insight on that, and just just kind of fishing with confidence and just self belief and stuff like that. He harped on that a big deal, and really, it's so true. Like, like I said before, when the show started, we're all tournament fishermen, so we know, like, the more you try to force something and the more pressure you put on yourself, like, the worse you're gonna do. And I think Dakota's just like, he's really good at just going, like, and making adjustments, and not being scared to change. Like in the middle of the day, like if something's not going right, and I think he's just on a roll and he's riding it. He's riding it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I want to circle back because we got a question here from Mudbug Walston. I want to ask both of y'all this question because I actually wrote this down earlier. I want to hear the biggest from each of you, the biggest y'all have personally caught, and then the biggest that your client has caught.
I'll go first because Kyle's is going to be bigger than mine. But
I was gonna go second.
Okay.
I got a 1440. Actually the first day that I was on my boat on that lake, I caught a 1440. It was pretty cool. And then recently, actually a couple weeks ago, I put a client on a 13 even as the biggest.
Wow.
But
I saw that post.
We've had several sharelunkers on, and with timber and having guys like I've had some 15, 16s. Like I know for sure earlier this year I had one that had to be in 17 pounds that got
My
off
God.
because once you are on this lake all the time, you know where these big ones live, and they like to live in the same area. So in this area, Dalton Smith, he put his client on a 1656 in like November or December. And I would check this area all the time. Him and I kind of share information, and you know, this area that I had found was just loaded with giants, and it's on a know nothing flat. No, it's crazy. Well,
Yeah.
the timing part was I was there 30 minutes before he pulls up after me, and they just happened to be there. They came out of the channel, came up on there, and his client catches 1656. Well, come like it was like February or March, I seen her. She was there. There was two of them, and she had come up. They're both like the exact same size, and she comes up, eats the bait, jumps off at the boat, and it's like over 17.
Mm.
But to me, so the biggest that I've had is 14, and like my client was 13 in the boat.
Nice.
My biggest is 1610, and my client's is 1440. Sorry, I had
Nice.
a list.
You got a list?
Got a list.
I got a list.
A list of all the DDs or only share lunkers?
DDs.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many's on the list, Kyle?
Kyle said I keep receipts.
I don't know. I ain't counted them in a while.
Oh, well, there's
I
that many you can't
45
count.
from this year, but I
Say
didn't
again?
count last year's in that. I counted 45 from this year so far, but I didn't count last year's when I counted that. So,
Man.
Jesus. I mean,
45.
we got big fish over here, but we don't have that.
So is that all on OH, Kyle?
Double digits or the big one?
Yeah, double digits.
A couple of them were on JB Thomas.
Got you. Okay, yeah, I was gonna bring that lake up.
Yeah, the other
somewhere
lakes.
in this show. Yeah, because that one's kind of got a little boom going as well. Have y'all both? Obviously, Kyle, you just mentioned you've been over. Y'all both been over there. Brett, you've been over there.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. But you can see every boat on the lake. It's like literally a mud hole. It's like fishing a pond. You know what I mean? A stock tank. There's just crappie and giant bass swimming everywhere. But
Gosh dang it, Brett. What's that guy's name, Kyle? Matt?
Do what?
What's that guy's name with the Wi-Fi over there?
David.
Come on, David.
Same guy called me again.
Oh, somebody called you?
I'm gonna have to call back.
No, David.
For some reason, once it ends, I can't hear you guys.
Oh, you got to restart it again. I'm gonna throw this up here while he restarts that for Kyle. You were on the top 50 twice, right?
Top 50 in Texas?
I guess top 50 all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well,
That's a-
congratulations, Kyle.
Yeah, I caught a 1582 this year too.
Yeah. When do we get to go on a trip, Kyle? For not $2,000.
I'm not paying you. I'm not paying you shit.
That was yesterday. Y'all missed it.
Dang.
That's when you were doing your free trips.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You know what's awesome, Kyle, is you're kind of a smaller frame guy too. So when you hold up a 15, 16 pounder, they look unrealistic. They just look disgusting.
That one was absolute.
I
I
was
guess it's
making
that.
I was making the thumbnail for this video, and like I found that picture of you holding that 16, and
Yeah, that
Callie, my wife, like walked over my shoulder. She's like, "Is that even real? Is that
You know how many
Photoshop?"
people on the internet said that thing was photoshopped?
Oh, yeah.
No, it ain't. No,
Yeah.
it ain't.
Hey,
Just
I
that
was
video.
gonna. What's the biggest one you've seen? Wait a minute, Brett. You can hear us?
Yeah, sorry. It's my client from today. I don't know why
It's
he's called me
Da-
like 3 times.
It's
I
David,
heard
right,
what
Kyle?
you said.
Yeah. I had to put it on do not disturb. Maybe that'll help. I
Maybe.
don't know.
Kyle, is that guy's name that runs that place where he's at? His name's David, right?
Yeah.
Come on, David. Come on, David.
David, come on, you
Are
making all
you
that
at
money.
David's?
What?
Y'all ain't got Starlink out there?
No. I'm at my buddy Cody. I'm at my buddy Cody's
Oh, yeah, Cody.
badass place.
Come on, Cody.
Yeah.
Come on, Cody. Get that.
Well, no,
get
it's I don't know what every time that guy calls and then it just I don't know.
it kicks you
Nah,
off.
it ain't.
Yeah,
It
it
ain't a
kicks me
big
off.
deal.
It's all
It ain't a
good.
big deal. I was gonna say, what's the biggest fish y'all have seen pulled out of that lake since y'all been there since 21 or whatever it was?
I got to see the 1706. I don't know if Brett was there that day.
I was there. That's when I wrecked my truck. I
That's the
slid
dude,
down
that's the dude in the
yeah.
walleye boat.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he helped me get my truck. So that day it was crazy cold and whatever, and I was the first one down there. I'm like, I'm gonna be that guy that's the first one to the ramp. Well, I got to the stop sign, and as soon as I let off the brake, my truck slid down the boat ramp and jackknifed, and I thought I was in the water. Broke out my tail light, everything. Dude, my truck and trailer jackknifed. It was terrible. It was like black ice all down it. And he helped me get my truck and everything. And I'm like, all right, yeah, good karma, man. Sure as hell.
Yeah, it goes out there and catches a 17. Gosh.
Yeah.
So what's
That's
the biggest
ridiculous.
one? What's the biggest one that your clients have lost, Kyle?
I don't remember ever losing any that big. I mean,
Yeah.
we've lost some like 12 pounders, but
Yeah,
not any like over 15, I would say.
got you.
Mm.
Do you
I
think
feel like
it's
I've had a
possible?
couple.
You think it's possible to break the state record? What is the state record? Like almost 19, 18 something?
That's gonna be tough.
Yeah,
Especially
I
for
think-
the- now. I say if it was gonna happen, it should have happened the first year in 2021. But now with all the pressure, your chances to get an 18 to bite is
18.
There's probably only a handful in the lake. So
I
on top of
think
all the pressure and all the boats coming over their head, they ain't dumb.
yeah. I think they would. I think you could. It'd have to be it'd have to eat like a big gizzard or a carp or something, and then we catch a lot of them with carp. I think it was like a 16 that ate a 2-pound gizzard or something. Because they got big gizzards in here.
Yeah.
I found one that was 18 inches one day floating on the top of the water.
Wow.
18 gizzard chat.
Wow.
Yeah, and one of the sharelunker people told me that those 14s and 15-pound sharelunkers, they have to spawn them with 3.5-pound males or bigger because they'll eat 2.5 and 3-pound males. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's an interesting subject right there. I mean, have y'all talked to anybody at ShareLunker program? Like, are they just going to keep taking fish every year from Ivie? I know they put them back at the end of the year, but like at some point, I feel like they may want some stock from another lake, or I mean, it doesn't really matter.
I don't know.
Just keep calling them.
Just keep coming.
You might as well
They
just start
need it.
releasing some of their, some of those dudes at Rayburn and all over the place is what I think.
Yeah. I
There's
think
enough to go around.
I think they did. They told us that they normally they put them out in all different
They
lakes
do.
all over the state.
Got you.
Yeah, they do. You can actually look that up, and that's a pretty interesting place. And that's kind of how probably some of these lakes are getting kind of discovered all over the state. You can actually look at release data, and you can see like how many share lunker fry are released in every lake every year. And so, Rayburn obviously gets some, but there's all kinds of lakes. But and then you can also look and see where they're all caught. But I just wonder, because I'm like, man, like it's always Ivie. Like when are they going to move the share lunker program to Ivie? They might as well.
I know, right? Yeah, we'll get a little closer instead of Athens. Yeah,
like put it in
So-
Waco or something.
I got a cool question. So, do y'all ever look for like that next lake? Like, do you ever venture off and there's one on Google Earth that's public? Like, I'm not saying disclose it if you found one. I'm just saying, has it ever crossed your mind? Like, because I'm sure there's other lakes around there, and all around the state of Texas for that matter. Have you ever done that, branched off to see if there's, another, maybe not OHIV, but something close to it around?
yeah. I've hit a few lakes around within about 2 hours of here. I haven't seen anything that's Ivy yet, and it might have some potential in a few years, but I haven't. I don't know about Kyle, but I have not
I
seen
went to like I would probably say 80% of the smaller little lakes around Ivy, and I found a couple that's got big ones, but not a lot of them.
Got you.
Like Ivy, as far as numbers of big ones.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say JB Thomas is probably the next best one to go catch a DD out of?
Oh yeah.
Just
You
because
have
if you catch 5 fish that day, one of them's going to be over 10.
Yeah.
Dang.
There's just not a whole lot of small fish in that lake.
But the visibility is that far, so you got to
I've seen
hit
the
them,
videos and the pictures. I'm like, they're using like chartreuse freaking swim jigs is what they're throwing. It's like, what the heck is that?
Yeah, you have to hit the fish. The fish either have to like get scared of it or eat it. That's the only option. They can't.
Well, that's what I don't
see.
understand how they've gotten so big in that lake, because obviously they've got the forage, right, and they've got the genetics, but Ivie's a good clean lake, and it makes it easier for large predators to eat, right? I mean, they can see a school gizzard or carp or whatever, but if they can't see, how the heck are they going to eat to get so big?
I think they run it. There's so much bait in there that they can eat that I think they just run into them. When you look at your scope, it's literally the entire screen, top to bottom, is bait. It's hard to see. Yeah, I mean, they would just have to swim around with their mouth open, and they would eat enough. Like it's wild.
Yeah,
it's wild.
We tried to go out there a couple times, but we never made it.
The crappie, I mean, by the 100 millions.
Really?
And it's such a mud hole now, and it's so small that everything's just congregated, and it's either there's no carp, so it's either bass, catfish, or crappie and some shad.
Some giant catfish out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if this is right, wrong. I don't know. I just kind of want to know, because I like look back at the boom of Ivie, right? What role did Milliken when he went out there and that video posted and it blew up? What role did that have in that lake? Was it already, I just don't really know that history of it like that. So maybe y'all are better to ask about it. But what role did that have in the whole boom over there?
I mean that video made Ivie, especially a lot of people hate it, a lot of people love it, but at the end of the day, I mean, it put it on the map. There's no doubt about that. I mean, but the lake was already like, I get guys that have been fishing it forever.
Right.
I know everyone from around here now, and they've been catching big ones here for a long time, and there's some people kind of told him to come out here because there was big ones, and they kind of got upset. They didn't know what it would be, what would happen once it happened. But it wasn't stumbled upon. Let's just say that.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And I kind of had heard that.
We all kind of knew that.
But
Yeah.
did that, like, were those locals, were they catching fish like that at that time still, like all those years?
A lot of these OGs have, I mean, a lot of these guys caught big ones, dragon and stuff. I don't think a lot of guys scoped it.
Right.
But I got dragon. I mean, we caught a 13 the other day dragon, and that's what Texas guys, Carolina rig, and they a lot of big ones. A lot of 50-pound bags have been caught out here before we showed up.
Got you. I just didn't know what role that played in it because like, I mean, it was a big deal at the time. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
A lot of guys came after that video. You know what I mean? They started coming to Ivie. So
Yeah,
So
my
what's
cousin.
y'all's? Go ahead.
Yeah, so just to add on that, my cousin has been coming out here they used to have a big bass tournament out here before David owned it. Stayed at Elm, had a big, huge party and throwdown. Well, there used to be some guides out on the lake back then that used to use water dogs. And they said it used to be the most insane thing ever. They said at one point, throw these water dogs down there and just catch giant after giant for forever when water dogs were a big thing. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if people had scope on this lake back in the day, or I don't know. I know it wasn't Fork back then, but God, you imagine what Fork would have put out if we had scope on it
Oh, like
in the
yeah.
90s.
Mm-hmm.
It'd been insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What is like the best time of year? I know everybody looks towards those colder months when they're at their heaviest and they're schooled up, but like, I mean, in your opinion, what is the best time to fish it? When do you guys like fishing it?
I get that question the most, and there's so many different variables. If you want to fish in a crowd of 200 boats, come when it's the busiest season. If you want a better chance at just 8 to 10 pounder, come when no one's here. But Kyle does his best when and there's just certain times a year, man, when it's just hard to beat. But you have to be at that level of Kyle and Josh, and those guys are willing to put that grind in on that scope and catch them. But to me, I love from March to July, and then from December to November. Those January and February months are they used to be so good, but an A rig now they run from it. It seems like.
I didn't even pull
And-
A-Rig out of the box this year.
Yeah,
Mm.
and and the weather, and it's so cold and it's hard. I mean, yeah, they're big, but they're harder to trick now. That used to be my favorite month to go, but now it's getting harder. I don't know if Kyle would agree with that, but for me,
I like
Mm.
March through June as well. So
Yeah.
March through June, you said?
if I had to choose one day to go, it'd be someday in March, though. Yeah.
So,
Like in the middle of winter and they're getting ready to go spawn, that's when I like.
so do you run trips out there literally January to the end of the year?
It's kind of slow in January because I'm duck hunting.
Got you.
And this year, I didn't get to guide any in February because I had tournaments I had
Right.
tournaments 3 or 4 weeks, and then I started it in March this year. So yeah,
Okay, I got you. I was just
like,
gonna like.
3 weeks of March. I did it all 3 weeks of March. The last 3 weeks.
I was just gonna kind of maybe get you to like walk through those times and like how it changes. You know what I mean? Like, because honestly, I really don't know. I don't know when they spawn out there. I don't know when. Like, I couldn't tell you. I mean, I've
been
seen
like
some.
twice.
Yeah, I've seen some of the videos like of the guys that got the decks built up and they're sight fishing stuff and it's all whatever. But I literally couldn't tell you. So what is that? What is their pre-spawn, spawn, post-spawn? What does all that kind of look like at Ivie?
I would say the spawn is probably from the start of April through the end of May.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Got you.
And you're not finding a bunch every day, and there's there's like you said, a lot of guys with platforms running the bank just nonstop. There's
It's
a couple
crazy.
guys out here that have other people looking for them and
Wow.
sitting on them, and it's just you're not gonna find a lot of that.
Yeah.
So, I don't fish much in the pre-spawn. I would if I didn't duck hunt probably, but
Yeah.
I like to duck hunt, so I do that until the last weekend in January usually, and then I don't get to fish much in February because that's when tournaments start, and usually we're in Florida or several in Texas. So I haven't fished there much in the pre-spawn. I did the first year in the 2021. I went a couple times in January and February, but I guess it was February more, not really January.
Got you.
I really have never fished there in January, I guess.
Dang.
Got you. We were there in March, right, Shane?
I don't know, dude. We were there like literally the week after you were there, Brett, with all the 6 guys and that whole freeze. We were literally driving the week after. So I don't remember when that was. February.
Yeah, when you were there, yeah. It was that week after. I don't know what.
Yeah, because you were there too.
I was there and you texted me about a scale.
Yeah, I needed to bum a scale because I caught a trash fish.
Yeah, we couldn't even catch largemouth. We were out there catching smallmouth, largemouth. Like, what the hell is our deal? Like, I didn't even know.
We caught some hybrid smallmouth, largemouth.
Yeah,
and of course,
trash
White had to
fish.
go one up.
Caught those then. We can't even catch those now. I think they're gone.
I know, where'd
I
those
don't
things
know
go?
where-
Kidding.
I haven't caught a smallmouth or I haven't caught a meanmouth in forever. I haven't caught a smallmouth in forever. I don't know.
No,
I caught smallmouth
kidding.
this year, garden fry.
Oh,
But-
really?
About this big. Swear.
Wow.
Dang.
That's wild, man. I thought y'all would run into them like periodically or whatever. Like, I
Last
knew
year
when
I
like,
caught 2.
what's that?
Last year I only caught 2 all year.
Was it
Man,
smallmouth or was it that cross?
No, it was smallmouth. These were like brown smallmouth.
Okay.
Got you. I knew, like, me and Shane both knew, like, when I, whatever with that record or whatever, we knew we're like, yeah, that's not gonna last very long.
That's
Like, we
getting
give it 6 months tops. It lasted for a year and then it got broke by something ridiculous. I forget
11.
what that thing was. That's ridiculous.
It got
That
broke
is
once with a
crazy.
9, but the 9 didn't count because it was an A
Right.
rig, and
Right.
IFTA wouldn't certify an A rig fish. And then
Yeah.
the dude caught. I think was it Burks who caught the 11 or Burks caught the 9?
Burks caught the 9.
No, I think Brady caught the.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Right.
thing was a freak. And I'll tell you, man, like that one I caught, it was like, I don't know, 7.5 or I forget what it weighed now, but that was one of the hardest fighting fish. Like, I literally thought it was a striper when I leaned in. And because I didn't know what the hell was in this lake. And I leaned in and it's just nothing but run like
Oh, they
literally
fight like a
you-
smallmouth. For
It
sure.
felt like, like a white or a hybrid or some shit. And then it came up and I'm like, what the hell is this thing? And but really, really cool fish. That's another thing about Ivie that's just different and cool. Is those things got that damn big. Like,
I think they were catching them and had to do something with the water temperature. I guess I don't know. Maybe those fish are even more nomadic than the giants you guys target anyway. Maybe those things are just out there over 80 feet of water roaming.
have y'all
around.
caught them though? Have y'all caught those hybrids at all? Ever?
I've never caught a meanmouth.
No kidding.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That is weird.
Well,
So weird.
I guess we just suck. Catch trash.
So, I guess, Shane, do you got any more questions about the guiding thing?
Man,
But
not
I
really.
was-
I just kind of want to hear where these guys are at because I mean, these guys each on their own are hammer tournament anglers and
Well,
and
that's-
doing
yeah.
big things. So I just kind of wanted to circle back to that. I know Brett, you're doing the opens again. You kind of touched on that, and I just kind of want to see where your head's at. I know you're not having the season you want, but what's the end of the year look like? What's 2025 look like? Where are your goals at? What do you want to do?
Man, I gotta start getting checks. Honestly, we got Eufaula coming up in Oklahoma. Grinder events are pretty fun sometimes, because those are the ones anyone can win.
Yeah.
So just got to get my head down, grind, find 5 fish on Eufaula. go one tournament at a time, honestly. I mean,
Sure.
I've got a lot of things on my plate right now as far as guide business. I'm building another guide business out of Venice in the slow months here because like it's hard. It's 105 degrees in July, August, September
Ugh.
here on Ivie, right?
Yeah.
So that's the best time for Venice. So I got a bay boat coming. Saltwater was like that's how I got into being from South Florida. You know, living my whole childhood down there. Saltwater is kind of my bread and butter too. So going to start building that business. John Hunter and I had a little water supplement company, and now I got another business that I'm trying to start doing the marketing. You know, so there's so many things. Being away from my fiance, it's all starting to take a toll. And like when you're not catching them, you think about that even more. So next year, I may just fish three. It's kind of up in the air. Take a break, go back. I'm the old dog, you know, in this deal. Uh, Little harder. I kind of wish I got into the opens a little younger, but right now, you know, I just turned 40 years old. So I'm seeing like, man, I used to be able to go in the water all day long. And now I'm in a tournament like, dude, it's like 4 o'clock or practice in a tournament's 4 o'clock. I'm like, man, I need to get off the water. I'm getting so damn tired.
Yeah.
And just back in the day, I'd be on the water all day when I used to fish Toyotas and all that kind of stuff. But now I'm like, man, so just trying to see, you know, I don't know financially, you know how that is. You know, you're
Oh yeah.
in 4 or 5 grand a tournament, and when you're not, I'm already in 25, 30, 25 grand in these opens already this year. So trying to figure out what the best option is for me with not having 100% sponsor. You know, I don't have all of it covered through sponsors this year. So
Yeah.
you know that's just the grind. You know, we all know it. It's hard, but. Like I said, I put a lot of my money into growing some of these businesses. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I may take a step back, grow a few of these businesses, and then move out and get back into it.
And
But
there's nothing wrong with that, dude. I took a year
yeah,
off. I mean, you know, sometimes you got to kind of set a bar for yourself. And like, if I can't
mhm.
get to here, then it's not the right move right now. And we'll see where it takes me. But
Yep,
Kyle, what
yeah,
about you, man? You just killing over there in the Invitationals, going to qualify for the BPT. You going to switch gears. You going to pull a Dakota and just say, FBD, I'm going to the Opens.
That's the plan. Is to make the Bass Pro Tour.
Gotcha.
We got 2 more events, and we're coming off 2 top tens. So if we can make 2 more top tens and keep it rolling, we'll be on the Bass Pro Tour. And
Heck
that's
yeah.
where I want to be. But if that is not how it goes, then we're probably going to reevaluate the whole tournament scene ourselves.
Really?
Because, like we said earlier, guidance guaranteed money, and I don't like leaving my house and knowing that I'm about to go spend the money I don't have at certain times of the year when guidance slows. So hopefully we make that Bass Pro Tour and don't have to worry about that. And then
Yeah. So what do you think of the Invitational since they switched it, you know, because you were on what was it called before? Pro Circuit?
Pro Circuit, yeah, I actually qualified the year it was the FLW Tour, and then they switched it to the Pro Circuit the year I started. So
You've been through all the changes here, and I mean, where's your head at with all that? If you don't make the BPT, which we hope you do, obviously, are you not interested in the Invitationals anymore?
It's not that, and it's not the reason. I mean, that's not my reason for not wanting to do it.
I got you.
I just think that guiding making $2,000 a day sounds much better.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking ridiculous. For sure. Yeah, man, it's interesting. It's interesting to hear, you know, both of y'all's takes on that, and you know, as Shane alluded to, you know, he had to take a year off. I had to take a year off because at the end of the day, like,
Yeah.
I mean, we all know how it is. The financial struggles are real in the sport, and I've always said I'll never put myself in a financial bind over it. I don't care how much I love it, and I think you got to like like. There's a time and a place for everyone, I think, and it's really kind of, you know, we need to hear more of the stories from a lot of these guys, because I feel like, kind of, at least, I don't know, want to say kind of, it's for sure like those days of, you hear those stories from, at least when I was coming up in the sport, about those guys. Oh yeah, I was sleeping in my truck and I was, doing whatever kind of work to make it through. Well, it's changed a little bit. Like, shit's expensive. Entry fees are high. The travel costs are high. Like, it's not the same sport. And I think, like, even Dakota kind of said it in one of our podcasts, like, there's a place for everyone in the sport as well. So even if for me, it was like, because I fished Invitationals last year, when I had to take a step back, it was almost like, damn, like, if I'm not going to the Opens and Invitationals, I feel like it's a bad thing. And I kind of at first looked at it as a negative, but it really it's not. Like, it's okay. Yeah. And thankfully, me and Shane have had a really blessed year here at home, and man, I'm having so much fun, and hopefully, looking forward, maybe we can get back in the Opens or whatever. But I think, like, Brett, you mentioned you got your other businesses starting up, man. If those things take off and start doing well, now you don't have to depend on a sponsor. Like, it's just you, and you go back without those worries and without those other things on your mind, and you just fish. You just fish differently when things are not on your mind, And this sport's so mental, man. Y'all know how it is. Like, it's all between the ears, and if you've got outside stressors, it can make it difficult at times. So, I think it's really cool to hear that from y'all.
Yep. Sometimes you got to take a step back, just take a step forward, and that's kind of where I'm looking at it. Like, last year, I started the season off really strong, which kind of catapulted the season and made me fish less stressed. But now I'm like, first one, second one. Now it's like, oh gosh, now like this one going in, I'm in the worst mindset ever, because if I don't cash a check or get paid, I'm probably not going to Detroit, right? Because that's even more of an expense. So it's like, now that's in my head, and how do you fish with that much worry on your mind? So I'm like I'm like thinking other ways. Now I'm about to call every sponsor I know and be like, hey, I got spots on my boat. I got spots on my truck, dude. Help me out.
Yeah.
So we'll see if I can get a couple more little last minute sponsors. We're gonna ride the season out. But if not, we might just try again next year. We'll see. Maybe we'll figure it out.
Yeah, for sure, bro. For sure.
Heck yeah. Well, you guys got room in your campers over there for 2 more guys?
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna charge $19.50.
All right, good. I'll get some of your guys that don't want to pay that. Yeah, good. Yeah, you guys both be real expensive. I'm that happy medium. I'm not the most expensive, but I'm not the cheapest either.
Man, like we could just come in like for a weekend or something. You know what I mean? Like, make like 3 or 4 grand. That's cool. That sounds cool to me.
Yeah, not a bad little weekend over there at the old.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, we're blessed. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I've made more money in some months than I've ever made in my life guiding out here. You know what I mean? And it's wild. And I've been able to help guys start their guide businesses here too, that are young and fishing the Opens now and killing it, guiding. It's such a cool thing, man. I just like helping out. So if y'all need a help, man, I got you.
I appreciate that. Well, let's be clear. You guys have earned everything you got out there. I mean, you guys catch them, you guys put clients on them. So it's not like some of our talented guides over here where they got a bass boat and a live scope. That's about all they got.
Yeah.
That's about all they got.
Yeah. Well, I guess to end, I guess these guys if they want to book a trip with either one of y'all, they just reach out on social media, or how do y'all do that?
Yep.
That's how I do it.
I do. Yeah, I have ohiviefishing.com. Reach out to me if money's an object for you. You can come out to me. If it's not, go to Kyle.
You guys offer financing?
Yeah. If you
What kind of rates you offering right now, Kyle? Like 7%?
he'll take a kidney
7% interest.
with a kidney.
Geez.
No, but
That's awesome.
in all honesty, man, Kyle and Josh deserve every penny, dude.
Oh yeah.
They
Just take it.
they're on another level when it comes to putting guys on Giants like that, dude. They got it figured out. They got something figured out that a lot of guys don't, and it's pretty cool. I can't do it. I talk to Kyle all the time. I was like, I don't like doing it, and I know what he does, and I won't do it, and I let them have their space.
Yeah.
Mm.
No,
And
it
a lot
sounds
of
like
guys
you guys.
don't do that.
What?
A lot of guys don't do that.
Yeah.
I do have
I'm
one
sure-
quick. I got one quick thing for Kyle. Kyle, do you remember last year at Okeechobee? We were fishing. Shit, what is that bay called?
There's only one spot I fished on Okeechobee last year. I know right what you're talking about.
Okay. Did you scope one out in the middle on straight braid? Because I swear I saw you, but I don't I know it was you, but I don't know if you scoped it or if you were just fishing. I don't know if you had one on the bed out there that was just kind of out, because it was kind of open out there towards the middle, and that's where you were. And I thought you were just staring at your screen, and I was like, and it was a big one, it was like a pretty good one. And I thought I heard braid crack, and I looked over there, and I'm like, did this dude just scope one on Okeechobee out in the middle of this grass flat?
Out in the middle.
No,
mine was all.
it was it was in the bay, but it was out in the middle where there wasn't any pads or reeds. It was in or that grass flat area, and I could have swore.
No, all mine were on the edge of pads or grass.
Got you.
I never.
I remember.
No, not a big one at least. I had 3 fish the last day of that tournament for 15 pounds, and I broke down, headed away.
Yeah.
And it cost me. I went all the way to 50th place in the Bass Pro Tour last year. So.
Golly, sore subject, man.
Whoops.
That's terrible. So, what are you right now in the invitationals? Because I know they're only taking 5 this year. I think for
13.
Got you.
That's a boy down change
Bass Pro Tour guys that aren't gonna fish the next couple. I don't know which ones for sure aren't, but I'm sure a couple of them aren't gonna make the next 2. So.
Okay. Got you.
I don't want to worry about that, and I want to finish in the top 5 and
jump up.
Yeah. Well, you got Champlain and Detroit River.
Yeah. Yep.
Got you.
St.
There
Clair.
you go. Got you. Heck yeah.
I'm pumped.
Well, boys.
That's right up his alley, right there, boy.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna smash them. He's gonna win one of them. He'll win one of them.
Like it.
He'll win Champlain. I'm calling it right now. He's gonna win Champlain.
God, back to back. That's a lot of pressure. Now you're going. That's a lot more pressure.
Do you I know you've won on Champlain. Have you won twice on Champlain?
No, I won one invitational, and then I got second 2 weeks later.
That's right. So, but this will be a spawning tournament. Do you like Champlain in that, or do you think it's kind of a?
I picked it last year the same week, and they were still spawning. That's how it was won. I finished 10th, but I kind of figured out a little deal late that was kind of a post spawn deal. So
got you. Okay.
I don't really know. I figured it out in the tournament, and I don't know if I like it. But I mean, I like to be up there in contention to win on that pond. So.
Yeah, heck yeah. Well, that's all I got. Shane, you got anything else?
Man, I got anything else? Just y'all watch out for them whole buzzards, man. They're bad out there. Watch out.
I'm just drama free, man. Shit. 8,000 acre lake. It's hard to. There's only a few places they live, so it gets hard.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why I venture off to other lakes.
That's right.
Still become a whole buzzard.
Golly.
You just follow you around, dude.
Hate's part of it. When you're at the top of your game, man, you got to take the hate, dude.
That's it,
Part
dude.
of it.
Yep. Block it out.
Yep.
Don't want to take
That's
your
it, man.
spot. Don't want to take your spot. But guys, we appreciate you coming on, and best of luck the rest of the season to both of you. I'm gonna post y'all's contact info or whatever, link to your socials so they can get in touch with you, go on trips, and
Awesome.
financing applications and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, anything y'all need, anything I can help with, man, just let me know.
Appreciate y'all
Sounds
having
good,
me on.
guys.
Yeah, thanks
Yes,
for
sir.
having
Thank
us.
y'all.
All right,
Thank
man.
you, guys.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna turn y'all loose.
All right, thank
See you, Kyle.
Yeah, man.
The Ivie boys.
That's crazy, bro. They are getting paid over there, like for real.
What? I just, $2,000, 100 trips a year. Do that math.
Yeah, pretty simple math.
That's a third of the year.
That's cash.
And plus tips.
And we ain't reporting all of it. We ain't reporting it.
No, Joe. No, you cannot have.
No, man.
Did we say he was charging 2,000? No. He was charging 200 a day, Joe.
Yeah.
Uncle Sam.
We ain't reporting it.
No.
We got a little NDA hush money going on.
Yeah. I wanted to ask him what was the biggest tip. I'm just curious. Like, you catch a share lunker. I'm pretty sure it's like getting a fat tip.
I bet you. Oh, we should have asked him the most he's ever made a day. Kyle, I bet you it's $4 or $5 grand.
That's disgusting.
I bet you it is.
That's disgusting.
Man, it's so interesting, like, to hear, like, where certain guys are, like, in the sport. You know what I mean? Like, just on the tournament side. Because I really thought Brett would have been.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing it till I qualify. Kind of. That's what I would have thought.
Well, and
but
I always thought, Brett was somebody that was killing it on the sponsor game. Perception versus reality are two different things. And it's not that he puts off that he is doing well, but it just goes to show you, like, just how tough this game is. And you can be successful. And he's, clearly an entrepreneur. He's always hustling up new businesses, and he does well with the sponsor thing. But, man, it's tough. Even somebody like him who's got a big following and has done well to make a name for himself is struggling. Not necessarily struggling, but he said he's not paying for all his opens.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and even Kyle, the business is so good that he's thinking about if he don't reach the top level over there.
That's crazy. He's had several good years in a row. He's stringing, like, he's got to be profitable because he's had a couple big wins in the last couple of years.
Wins.
And he does well. He's cutting checks, and he's always kind of in the hunt, as far as top of the AOI points. So, he seems like somebody who could have a stable career as a professional fisherman. But he's even like, man, I kind of just want to come home and duck hunt and guide.
Make $300,000 a year.
We don't charge that here. We can't,
dude.
What do you think we could charge if we were like, say, all right, we'll take you to the Nectar?
No, you couldn't put a price on that. But what if we were like, all right, like, to separate ourselves from these other guys, we're going to charge $800 a day on Rayburn.
Yeah. But what are you gonna give these customers for $800 a day? What are we gonna do different?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's so hard to chase giants.
I mean, I do think we are different. I do think we offer more than the average guy. And there's nothing wrong with being out there hustling. Look, it's fine. You're allowed to. It's America. You're allowed to go be a bass guide if you want to be a bass guide.
Absolutely.
Not discouraging anybody to not get into it, but I do feel for the customers a little bit on the fact that it's very hard to decipher. At least on Ivie, it's like you can look those guys up like, oh, well, Kyle clearly catches them because there's pictures of him holding 16-pounders. And same thing with Brett. These guys they got a proven track record. They're seeing these big fish pictures, whereas Rayburn, it's really not that. I think what you and I offer on Rayburn is more of learning how experiencing how we look at the lake and how you can go and kind of learn that. Because, catch trips on Rayburn, I mean, those are honestly my least favorite trips. I like teaching people more on how to use their electronics and seasonal patterns and what to kind of look for. But that's not always what people want to do. People want to take the shortcut to how do I get from I'm a level 1 tournament angler. How do I get to a higher level? Like I want to skip all these steps. Well, you really just can't.
Mm-mm.
And I really enjoy my time with the customers that are really like, you can tell, like we got, and I know we share a couple of these customers that they really are, they're very sincere when they say they want to learn so that they can get better.
Correct.
But anyway,
Correct.
I don't know where I was going on that little tangent, but yeah, I mean, I just feel bad for the customers that are trying to find good guides. And guides learn and get better too as they go along, but there's got to be some sort of like, I don't know.
No,
criteria.
I mean,
I don't even know how to get there.
Trust me, I agree. There's so much more that goes into it than just catching a bass. Like it could be a technique. Like my customers today on Rayburn, we caught the hell out of them. They had a fantastic time, but the guy was like, he saw me catch a few hundred Demiki rig, and he was like, "Man, I really need to get better at that. Let me come up there and watch you target a few of these fish." Yeah. And then he started asking questions: line size. Why am I throwing this long of a rod? Why is
those
my
are the right questions?
Leader line, size head, what baits? See, now that stuff that's different than a lot
That's
of these
the right
guys.
questions to ask as a guide customer, though, if you're very serious about learning.
Correct. And it's not just like, hey, here's a rod, throw it out there.
Throw it over there.
Yep. Yeah. And that's why I just don't even take those trips anymore, to be honest with you. Well, I will. I'll tell you that I will, but we ain't going to Rayburn because you know why? Rayburn sucks. We're going to go out to Lake Nacogdoches or we're going to go out in East Texas somewhere and we're going to catch them.
Yeah.
You know? Rayburn doesn't suck, but you all know what I mean. It ain't.
It's not Rayburn big ones are just different. It's just a different lake.
Yes, it's just different.
And
that's what I try to explain to a lot of my clients. It's like, look, like even my client says, like, yeah, we smashed them, and they asked about that 39.5-pound bag me and you weighed in, and they asked about some bigger bags that weighed in. And I'm like, yeah, you do realize like we caught like 40 today. Me and Shane, a few times we weighed in 27, 28. We caught like 7 fish all day, and we didn't have a limit at 1 o'clock. Like, it's not overly fun. Yes, it is because we're competing, and that's what we love to do.
Yeah,
but as far as like from the outside looking in, like you take somebody that don't know nothing about fishing, they're like, yeah, they caught some big ones, but they didn't catch that many. I don't know how that was fun. You know what I mean? I like they ain't setting the hook. You know what I'm saying? So it's just different. It's just so different. So.
It's a weird game, man. Rayburn is such a hard lake to guide on. It's such a hard lake. I'm telling you, I envy those dudes out there. I mean, they're probably like thinking the same thing. Like, these guys are idiots. They don't want to come out here and get in this mess with 20 boats on 8,000 acres, and they're all guides. But I mean, I think, if I could, have that. I don't think I've ever taken a trip where I'm like, well, that's not true. I've taken trips. Like, we go to other lakes around here, and you're like, I'm going to try to catch as many big ones as I can. I'm going straight to like what I feel is the best stuff, and we're going to try to catch giants.
Yeah.
That would be fun to do every day.
Oh, man, it is. It is. That's why I like going to these other lakes in East Texas, and the trips I took over at Fork. It's the same way. Like,
I want to do it on Fork, but I did like one trip on Fork this year, and I literally broke my boat. And I was like, okay, I don't like this.
Yeah, it is a little.
Those trees are hard as rocks.
And you can go to Fork and Zero in a hurry with a client.
Yeah, we did not have a good day. I caught some little ones. I had a couple big followers. Whatever. We were trying to scope giants in January, and ended up ripping my.
Dude, I had a guy come down from Minnesota just to go to Lake Fork with me. He's coming down to Lake Fork for 3 days. He went with me the first day, and then he was going to fish by himself the next 2.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, dude, like, I'm nervous. Thank God this dude could actually fish and was
Yeah.
good with scope and stuff like that. He caught a 9-something with me on
Oh.
a 9-inch flutter spoon out of a tree. So that was special. That was a special, special day. But it was very tough. But he did catch that one, and it made it all worth it. So
I need to start going over Toledo more. I think Toledo would be a fun lake to guide on.
We're about to be on Toledo. I'm just waiting for about 30 days out, and we're approaching that time.
Yep. I was going to go this week, but I kind of got, I spent some time with the family here since we got off Pines and enjoying that.
I can't wait.
But I'll probably next week, I'm probably going to hit her hard.
I can't wait to get over there.
Hit her hard.
Now we took us a while last year to find some of the right stuff, and now we're going into it with a whole new mind, and I'm ready to really break her down.
We're coming from you, Cody. We're coming.
Yeah.
Cody.
Well, that's it, man. This is a good one. We're gonna maybe try to record the normal, like a not a live.
Coming down here tomorrow, huh? For the Valero.
Yep, be down there tomorrow evening.
All right, dude.
That'll work.
Looking forward to it. Enjoyed it. Thanks again to Kyle and Brett. We'll put their info on there. And we'll see y'all next time.
Yes, sir.